Yo, what's up, guys? My name's Kergok. Just a quick video. I did get into this guy's guild, and it's a pretty dope guild. Always strive and prosper. Big shout out to Dark Ben X. And they're kind of helping the RPG community make, guides and shit like that. So that's what I'm trying to do here for you today. And this is going to be my first rogue guide. And it's not going to be a huge guide or anything. I'm not going to teach you everything. But I'm going to kind of go over the basics, some of the rotations I do. But first, let's get started with talents, man. This is going to be just regular talents. And I'm not going to go through which one. All I'm going to say is if you really want to start learning to pick rogue, you should really just copy the spec. It's my comfort spec. And I'm going to show you one more spec that a lot of people run. That's not this one. But this is the one that I would use to learn. It's something you get, with the big energy pool, you kind of get comfortable using and shit. So starting out, I definitely go with this spec. But maybe once you get a little more comfortable with rogue and you're starting to, know all your keybinds and stuff, I would try out Master of Subtlety and Deeper. I'm not saying that S word. And just try this spec out. And this is a little more burst. I kind of like it because a lot of people know, stop the rogue as soon as he opens, and that's mainly where this damage comes from, outside of Deeper, whatever this thing is. This thing is actually huge when it comes to making your kidney shot 1 second longer, so I definitely look into that. But whenever you're practicing a rogue, really just try to stick with this spec. It's really comfortable and something you can get used to when you're playing a rogue. Now let's talk about honor talents. Now honor talents, this is kind of the default spec. Some things you can play around with is sparring if it's, fighting against some melees and stuff, and most of the time you want to go reinforced armor. And this is kind of like, I always use this. I don't ever really change anything else because it's kind of nice to just sprint out of situations. Smoke bomb, nothing else in that tree. Cold blood. Cold blood is amazing, man. When you put it into your rotation for the first time, when you get to that honor talent, you start to realize how good it is. Now, this last tree, you can fuck around with. Now, this is a tree where there's some picks in it. Shadowy Duel, for most people, is what they use for extra CC. It's what a lot of rogues use when they're really CC based. But let's say you're a rogue and you like just bursting people down as fast as possible. Maybe Phantom Assassin might be the one for that. Maybe you want to vanish, that's on a 45-second cooldown. Maybe Thieves Bargain is the one for you. What I would recommend is mainly with Shadowy Duel, because Shadowy Duel is where you're going to get your most impact, especially on like base maps and stuff like that. These other two come in handy when you got your rotation down on packs. So like when the Phantom Assassin, you're going to do a lot more crit damage, so a lot of damage on the FCs. Like your Shadow Strike is going to have like a 85% crit chance. It's pretty crazy. Thieves Bargain you're going to use to get away from people a lot easier. It's that short vanish, but you are going to take hella more damage because it reduces your maximum health by 15%, and that's why I don't like it that much. I do run it every now and then, and it does have its place, and it does have its purpose, but for you starting out rogues, I definitely recommend trying out Shadowy Duel. It has huge impact, and it's never a wrong talent to go. It's huge. And in some games, a lot of people are like, damn, dude, if you were Shadowy Duel, we probably would have got that base. And I'm like, yeah, fuck, I should have won Shadowy Duel. But for this purpose, since I'm just showing you damage rotation, I'm just going to go Phantom Assassin, fuck it. I mean, they're both just 10% more damage. I guess I'll go with that. It does actually, that doesn't matter. Fuck it. Yeah. Alright. So, the most important thing about rogues is, for example, I'm going to show you what you need to do on rogue, first of all. Is when you open, you want to open with, like, let's say you open with a cheap shot. I call this the cheap shot opener. You're going to want to open with a cheap shot, and then you're going to want to apply Nightblade, which puts a dot on the person, which does damage, and increases the damage you deal by 15%. And with the cheap shot opener, you're going to pop that, and what I usually do is I pop Cold Blood, and then I pop Symbols of Death. I pop Symbols of Death after I pop my cheap shot, Nightblade, and stuff like that. And it's usually with my Cold Blood, because you get that energy back, you get the extra 15% damage bonus from that, you get the extra 15% damage bonus from Nightblade, and it's crazy damage. Now, the thing about Rogue is that you always want to chain your stuns. And when I mean chain your stuns, like cheap shot, that cheap shot's about to be over in a little bit, and you're going to want to cheap shot again, and you're going to want to cheap shot again. Now that's just, Obviously, you want to throw a kidney in there if you can, because kidneys last longer. But that's just an example. And triple cheap shots is something commonly you're gonna do in like team fights and stuff like that. You just want to chain those cheap shots, and you want to test on target dummies to see what abilities you can throw in while they're cheap shotted and things of that nature. So like, I know when I open, sometimes I go cheap shot, Nightblade, and then I pop dance. That's another important thing. Sometimes you want to pop dance even when you're not in subterfuge, because whenever you're throwing out an ambush and you're opening on someone in a stun, see, Prey on the Weak gives you 10% more damage, and Dark Shadow gives you, while your Shadow Dance is active, all damage increase by 30%. So all those damage multipliers added up together is crazy, especially that Shadow Dance one. So whenever you're throwing out ambushes when the person is stunned, you want to have Shadow Dance up. You don't want it to be a subterfuge ambush. I'm saying ambush, I mean Shadow Strike. It's the same thing. And it's just going to be noticeably weaker, and it's not going to be as much burst. So I may fuck up on this. I haven't played Rogue in a while, but this is kind of like my rotation, and I'll tell you what I do after, because it's kind of hard to just say everything. And that's kind of like what I do most of the time. As you see there, I did use both my dances, so that's pretty much going for a kill, and that's really the opening for a team fight. For other shit, it's different. For right now, I just want to get your guys' damage rotation down for team fights. And another cool thing about rogues is that if you read, where is it? Deepening Shadows, your finishing move reduces the remaining cooldowns of Shadow Dance by 1.5 seconds per combo point spent. So you see, this guy's Nightblade fell down. Let's say I'm just team fighting right here. Now let's say people are stacked. You want to use your, what is it, Phantom Knives, just or Shuriken Storm, whatever they call it now, and you'll get 5 combo points immediately. Nightblade that guy, and as you see, our Shadow Dance is just coming up like that. So let's go and spend a bunch of combo points. You'll be seeing Shadow Dance coming back up in no time. I'm about to have 2 already. I'm like Mark for Death and stuff, but that's just to show you that Shadow Dance can be back up in no time. All you gotta do is hit things, and you'll have Shadow Dance back up. So you can chain stuns on so many people. That's really your objective as a rogue, is to make sure you're hitting the right things, and that you're chaining stuns and on the to kill target. So what also I like to do is that if you're not really hitting anything and you're about to hit something, I should really make for Mark for Death to come down, because Mark for Death is very important for what you need. It's very important for a bunch of openers and stuff. It just does so much more damage. So like, let's say I just see a pally right there. I'll just Shadow Strike to get to him, because that's kind of like a Shadow Step. You get right there. And what I'll do is I'll Mark for Death, Kidney, pop everything, Blade, Shadow Dance, everything. And you do so much damage while you're in this. And then you obviously you want to chain your cheap shots and stuff, but I didn't pop my Shadow Dance because I'm an idiot. But with that, that's the most damage you'll ever do while something is chain stun, because it goes from a kidney shot to a cheap shot and to another cheap shot while you already have Nightblade up. So if there's a way you can, like for example right now, 5 combo point Nightblade someone, throughout all your stuns your Nightblade will be up, which means you won't ever have to put it. That 15% damage will always be there. And that's kind of just what I want to show you guys now, the basics. If you ever want to see more, then just hit me up. This is kind of all I got so far. Now this is just the damage rotation basics, and I mean basic, I mean very basic. If you want to hear my thoughts some more, then just put something in the comments. This is going to be a very unedited, unprofessional video, but that's just because I'm kind of bored right now. That's really why I did this. And but I hope to help you guys. Yeah. Peace out.